Hello, hello. I am popping on here today to tell you how to get the best service when you're traveling now in 2021, post whatever after crazy lockdowns and all that kind of stuff. People are getting out there and I'm hearing stories, and I just feel like I need to get all of this out there so that you can have the best travel experience. And why should you even listen to me? What do I know about traveling? Well, if you don't know me, my name's Lindsay, and my husband actually works in the hospitality business, and we travel quite a bit. If we aren't traveling outside of San Diego where we live, we are staycationing. We love a good hotel visit, and we will often just do like one night here and there. We have already in 2021 gone to Seattle and stayed in 2 different hotels there. We went to the Bahamas and stayed in 2 different hotels there. In a little bit, we're going to Cabo and Las Vegas and Arizona and a bunch of other places later in the year. So when I tell you that we travel a lot, we travel a lot. Even during 2020, we found a way to get out. Now, not in the beginning of 2020, but when things started opening up, we went to Las Vegas 3 different times, and we went to Arizona, and we went a bunch of staycations in San Diego around town. So when I tell you that I've been to hotels and I hear stories from my husband when he comes home, I know what I'm talking about. So I hope that you will heed these examples and warnings and all of the things and take them with you on your travels and really enjoy your stay. People are constantly calling my husband and asking him questions about travel, myself included, because we go away a lot. And so I figured I would share some tips today. So traveling in 2021 is not traveling in 2019, and people need to get that in their heads, okay? You cannot assume anything is going to be the same. And then you will be pleasantly surprised if something is the same, especially if you're going to a hotel that you've gone to a lot of times before and you know the service, you know the services, you know what to expect. Don't expect any of those things to be the same. This is why, okay? Everything shut down. And I mean everything. Whole hotels turned the lights off and everybody lost their jobs, okay? My husband included. He has been lucky enough to find another job in the hospitality industry, and we are so lucky. But for many people in the hospitality industry, they still don't have the job that they originally had back in pre-pandemic times, and most hotels are not operating like they were. So you cannot expect to have the same experience. Does that mean you can't have a good experience? Absolutely not. Just don't assume anything, because it really was the old thing. They say don't assume anything. It just makes an ass out of you and me. Okay? That is true. Here's my number 1 thing. Be kind. The next thing I will tell you is be prepared and research. The information is out there. If you are unsure and cannot find the information of what you are looking for about the hotel you are traveling to, and I will give you some tips, call the hotel. The actual hotel, not like the 800 number for like the chain. Call the actual hotel. You can Google it. You can find the actual number and ask them all of these things, okay? Know before you go, okay? So like I said, these hotels closed down for months. Some have been closed, some closed for a whole year before they opened again. And that doesn't mean that when they opened back up, they went back, turned everything on, and hired all the thousands of employees that they had. No, they were able to turn on their lights and really only open a portion of their rooms that they have available. Most hotels are still not fully open to 100% capacity. That goes for anywhere in the world that you're going right now. Most of them still have rooms that are not open. So if you had a great room type before when you stayed there, it may or may not be available right now. And you just need to be understanding that they're doing the best they can with what they have. They did not hire back everybody right away. They didn't snap their fingers and everybody came back. Do you know why? People found other jobs. People moved. People figured they wanted to do something else, and they may not be going back to the hospitality industry. But hotels are slowly hiring again, so you can rest assured that things are ramping back up. But don't expect your hotel to be operating at full 100% with like all the housekeepers, all the restaurants, all the bus people, all the valets, all the bellmen, all the management, all of that stuff. Do not assume that, because you're just going to frustrate yourself and be so upset when you get there because you expected this, right? So know before you go and do the research. Find out. Most hotels, when you go to their website, have a COVID information pop up. You can read all about it. If you do not do that before you go, you are doing yourself a disservice because you're going to be disappointed. Maybe you're going to a crazy five-star amazing place that has fully reopened and has everything. If that's the case, awesome. We've been to a 5-star hotel since pandemic, and even our 5-star hotel that we love, that we go to, is not fully operational with everything they used to have. And that's okay, because we knew before we're going, this is a 2021 event. You cannot expect it to be fully functional. So again, don't assume anything. Don't assume that all the services are going to be back. Some are going to have different hours of operations for all the different things that they have. Not all the rooms are open back up, like I said. If there are rules in the hotel, follow them. The staff is so tired of telling you to pull your mask up over your nose or to just wear your mask. If it's required by the hotel in the city that you're traveling to, find out and just do it. Nobody, is going to be fully aware of everything. So you aren't going to go always knowing all of the rules, but they will have them posted. So just follow the rules and make it easier on yourself and on them. So here's things that you can assume that you can assume and make an ass out of yourself, or you can know before you go. Find out about the room service. Not all hotels are fully functional in their staffing of cooks and all of that, kitchens and all that kind of stuff. So most hotels that we've been to have a very pared down room service menu, if they have room service at all. And the hours of room service are not going to be 24 hours. It is very rare that we have stayed at a hotel where the room service has been 24 hours. There was only one when we were in the Bahamas. One of the hotels had room service 24 hours, but it was not the same that it would have been, full menu and all that kind of stuff. The other thing you can expect is things are going to be brought to you in a very different way. If you've ordered anything food-wise since the pandemic started, you'll know that it came in to-go containers and all that kind of stuff. That's how things are going to come food-wise to your room. They're going to be brought to your room in a bag, like a to-go bag, and it's going to be left for you. So that's just something to expect. It's not going to... If it happens to be that they have plates and all the things and it comes to you in a better way, how amazing and how awesome will you feel? But most of the time I will tell you that room service has not been the same. So don't expect to go and at 3 a.m. be able to get a hamburger, okay? Because that happens all the time and people are so disappointed. So know before you go the rules and what is going on at your hotel. Room cleaning has forever changed. Okay, you've read articles about it, you've seen it. It's not gonna ever, I don't think, in my opinion, it will ever come back to be the way that it was, where people just came in your room during, the day, every day, and cleaned up your room. That's, I don't think, ever returning. So, you will, have to collect your trash and put it outside your door, whatever the hotel's, rules are and that kind of stuff. If you're staying for multiple days and you don't want to have a lot of trash in your room, most hotels have been giving you trash bags. And you can just, even if they don't have trash bags, you can leave your bin outside and say, our trash was full. Can you come get it? I'm sure they're happy to do that. Whatever it may be, just know that people aren't going to come in and make your bed and all that kind of stuff. There are certain rules at some hotels, so find out if you're staying there for a certain amount of nights. They will say, do you want us to come in on night 2 or night 3 and remake your linens? And then you can make the decision there. Now, let's say something happens. Obviously, you can call. But in my experience, there's not a lot of room service or any like room staff, like housekeeping staff overnight. Okay, so don't think that in, the middle of the night, the housekeeper's bringing you that pillow. It's somebody else on staff bringing you the pillow. It might be a manager bringing you a pillow. So like I said, people in the hospitality industry right now are doing everything. They are wearing so many different hats. Room amenities. So don't expect to go into rooms and find all the fluffy extra pillows and the little tchotchkes on all the shelves and the magazines and, room binders that used to have all that information. No, those are all gone. In order to make it easier for the hotel staff to clean rooms and disinfect and do all the things that we need for our safety, they have gotten rid of all of those things to make it go a lot quicker. So a lot of rooms now will have the QR codes that have all the information that you need. They'll give you a printed paper when you check in with all the information about what, is going on at the hotel. So all those things are going to be out of the room. So just expect that when you go. There's not going to be a lot of extra decor and that kind of stuff in the room. And don't be surprised because the room was built for decor. So it might look a little bit strange, but that's why. Valet and bellman and all those kinds of extra kind of services, check to see if they're even available. Most of the time, they are not right now, okay? If there is a valet, check the hours that the valet is running, okay? I cannot emphasize that enough. Check the hours the valet is operating because most hotels use an outside service for their valet. So it's not the staff of the hotel running your car around and picking it up for you. It's an outside service. Like in San Diego, like Ace Parking does a lot of the valet services for a lot of different hotels. So if you call down for your car at 4 a.m., you may not be able to get your car. So you need to pay attention to the little ticket. Ask questions before you go. If you're renting a car or driving to somewhere, know before you go what the parking situation is. A lot of them, because they don't want people getting in cars, don't even have valet and it's all self-parking. So just know that before you go. Always ask pricing. Like I said, ask the hours so you're not surprised when you get there, and plan for it. The hotel is more than happy to work with you most of the time if you are kind, okay? I cannot emphasize that enough. You catch more bees with honey than with vinegar. So if you go in knowing a little bit and saying, hey, I know that the valet doesn't work in the middle of the night, but I've got a really early flight, like before 6 a.m. when they come back on. How do I get my car from the valet? They'll be happy to figure out a situation because most likely you aren't the first person that has had that happen. And so they probably have a solution or something they can work out with you, and they're more than happy to tell you all about it. But you have to do a little bit of the research on your own, and you have to know, hey, you know what? I think I remember them saying when I got my ticket that the whole valet doesn't work past 12, but I need to leave here at 3 a.m. So how am I going to get my car? Think about things, you guys. Do the research. Be prepared. Okay, there may or may not be bellmen that can help you with your bags. Most of the time they will give you the bell cart to use on your own. And if you are staying at a hotel that has a bellman, awesome. But again, know before you go. Overnight services are limited, okay? I said that not all staffing is back up. That is true everywhere. So if you may have to wait a little bit if you've asked for an extra pillow or something in the middle of the night, most likely there are like 2 or 3 people working in the whole hotel overnight. They don't have big staffs like they used to. So if you know that going ahead to your hotel and you're like, oh, you know what, I think we're gonna need an extra pillow, like make sure you ask for it and give them enough time. Most of the time it's just a, security guard running it up to you, or a manager, or during the day, who knows, it might even be the GM. You have no idea who these people are that are bringing it to you, but in these rules now, most of them are bringing it and dropping it at your door in a bag, pre-packaged for safety reasons, so that's another thing to assume or to know. In the room, your little things that you used to have, like shampoos and conditioners and lotions, and sometimes they'd have toothbrushes out, toothpaste, all that kind of stuff. Most of the hotels we've stayed in do have the shampoos and conditioner and lotion, but that's about it. And there have been some that didn't have that at all. And so if you need something, they are happy to help you and bring it to you. But like I said, give them a little bit of time because there's not a lot of people working. And they do still have all of those extra things. They're just not leaving it in the room because, like I said, not a lot of staff housekeeping. So in order to turn over the rooms and clean them to the standards that need to be, they're not just putting a lot of extras in there that then have to get tossed. If you think about it, it's actually really great because it's less waste, because they basically have to assume that if it was in the room, you touched it, or you used it even though it might not be used, and then it gets chucked, and then that's just a waste for the environment. Okay, last couple of things: restaurants and hotel activities. Not all restaurants are back up and running. Make reservations before you go. Know what's open. Know that room service isn't going to be at full capacity. So if you're gonna want food, be prepared. A lot of hotels are used to now getting a lot of outside food delivered, but I would say most of the time hotels are not going to be allowing them to go up to the room to take it to you. You are going to have to come back down to pick up your food. So plan for that. Hotel activities. Now we are really ramping up. I have noticed more and more activities coming up at hotels that we're going to because they're opening and getting more staff, and you're allowed to have masks off outside, so they're doing a lot more of that kind of stuff. But do not assume if you went to a hotel resort and they had really fun, great activities before, that they're all going to be fully functioning right now, because they're not. Like I said, the staff just isn't there. And it's just not something that they can really do. But if you know that before you go, you can plan ahead and make your trip the best that you can do. I'm happy to answer any questions that has come from this. Really, the takeaway from this is be kind when you travel. These hotels are doing the best that they can with the staff that they have, and they want to help you. They want you to have the best stay that you can have. And if you treat them with kindness, they are more than happy, and I would say more likely to help you with what you need, get you extras that you may be asking for, all those kinds of things. But you have to be kind. Be prepared and research before you go. That's the other takeaway. Be prepared and research. Hotels are putting a lot of stuff on their website, and if you cannot find about room service, about room amenities, about valet, anything about bellman or overnight services or restaurants that are open, call the actual hotel, okay? Find out from a front desk person when you call what's going on. And if you get somebody that maybe really doesn't know, hang up and call back again. Maybe you'll get a different person that really knows. Because I know sometimes, you don't get the person that's having the best day, and it can be frustrating and they didn't tell you everything you wanted to know. So just call back again and try with a different person, and you'll definitely find the information you need. I'm happy to answer any comments below. I'm so excited for you to be traveling. I'm excited to be traveling again. We are, I love being out and about in cities and finding out what's going on, sitting by the pool, all that. So enjoy your travels.